Hey, welcome back. In this segment, we're going to learn how to annotate your drawing that's now on its own sheet layer. But before we do that, I want to go back one step and show you something that is important about your layers in your design layer collection. So let's go back to, let's say corner blocks. The viewport that we took, you'll recall that we pulled down from the view menu to create a viewport. The viewport that we created only takes a picture of what it sees. And so if I were to go down here into my navigation palette and turn off the corner blocks, for instance, now I'm still in the corner block layer, so they're still on. I'll move into the frame layer. And if I only wanted a viewport of the frame, then that's what would get taken over into the sheet layer. This is really important when you get into more complex drawings and you only want to show some element of the design on a sheet layer. This is the way you do it, by turning on and off various layers. But we'll go back and take a look at our sheet and our drawing within it. Now, if I decide to put dimensions on this without going inside that viewport, I'm going to have a problem, and I'll show you why. First, let's take a look at some new tools. Over here in your tool menu, you'll see things that look like dimensioning tools, right? You've got several different looks. What I'm going to want to do is draw in a different line weight. Because of a 2 line weight system in the US ITT standards, I want my dimension lines and my notation lines to be a lighter weight. So I'm going to make those at 0.13 in this pull down menu here. I also like to give them a color. I like to make them blue. It makes them stand out, makes a less cluttered looking drawing. Not everybody does this, but I really like to do that. So I've got those things taken care of. What I'm then going to do is select my dimensioning tool. I'm going to show you how to do it wrong first. All right, so if I take a measurement here and click and drag, click at the bottom corner of the drag to the top corner, click the top corner, and pull out, I'm going to suddenly have a 10-foot tall flat that's 5 inches. It should ring a bell for you. 5 inches is a real size, real world dimension of something in half-inch scale that is 10 feet tall. So what's gone horribly wrong? Well, this page, this sheet layer is always in full scale. It's only when I select by double-clicking that object, that viewport, that I'll be able to go inside it and make some notations. There are 2 things I can do in here. In this case, I'm going to add annotations. I'm going to click OK, and now I am in my viewport annotation menu. This label is going to be in my way for my dimension at the bottom of the flat, so I'm going to click, drag that down a little bit. And now I'm going to use my dimension tool to show the length of the rail or the width of the flat. I'm going to click, drag, click the side of the flat, show that it's 10 feet tall. Also going to want to give some internal details. I'm going to click and drag to the bottom of that toggle and say, yep, that's 2 foot 6 inches from the bottom. And for those folks in the shop, I don't want them to have to guess that that middle toggle is truly in the middle just by looking at the drawing. I'm going to go ahead and pull up from the bottom of the drawing and snap to the midpoint and show that that center toggle is centered on 5 feet 0 inches. Now, I also want to put in some notations here. I want to probably show that these are 1x4s and not 1x3s or 2x4s or anything else. And I think 1/4-inch plywood keystones or corner blocks might be nice to call out. I've got a beginning level stagecraft student building this thing. They might not know that, all right, or they might not remember it. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get some text in here. I'll use my text tool right up here. I'm going to click on that text tool, and I can start writing. I can start writing corner, oops, I'll do this in all caps. 1/4-inch plywood corner blocks and keystones. I'm going to click on that, drag it out here. Now, look, that text looks awfully large on there, doesn't it? It's because it is. It's because the last time I used this text tool, I was using it at 18 point. I really just want this at 10 point. So what I'm going to do is I can leave this whole thing selected, and I can come up here to the text tool and say, oh, I want to change the size of that down to 12 point. And it does so for me. Now, I'm going to click and drag that to a new location. Oops. Click and drag that to a new location. And for directional arrows that point this out, I always am going to use a note, a line that directs the note to a place on the page, and it will always be a bent arrow. So first I'm going to draw it horizontally, and then snapping to that horizontal point, I'm going to pull a line down. That doesn't have an arrow on the end of it. I need an arrowhead. So I'm going to come over here to my collection of arrowheads. I can select a lot of different types, so I'm going to use the default type and place it on the end of the line. Might also say that it is made of 1x4s. So let's show you how to make sure that your text tool always behaves the way that you want it to, time and time again, and I don't have to go back and fix that 18-point mistake. I have to come back to my select tool first, and then pull down my text dialog box, or my text menu, and I'm going to select that at 12 point. And now everything that I do in the text tool is going to be at 12 point. Says he. All right, we'll try this again. I've done something terribly wrong. Point. There we go. Going to use my line tool, pull a line out, pull a diagonal, put an arrowhead on it, and now I've got both of those notes. I have done my viewport annotation of dimensions that I needed and material choices. I need to exit that, and that work is all done. In the next segment, we're going to take a look at how to do your title block. All right, very good.